Welcome back to Learning from the Greats. Today we've got Serral versus Showtime. The, uh, I guess he's from Finland. The Finnish phenom, Serral himself. I think that's his nickname that they still go by. And then Showtime is a German protoss player. Very, very good, very high-level protoss player in the European bracket. Serral might be the best Zerg in the world still, possibly. Last year he was in 2017. It's 2019 now. So 2 years back he was... No, 2018. Yeah, 2018 he was the best Zerg in the world. He won BlizzCon. This year he hasn't done a lot of games against Korean players, so I don't know how he's stacked up against it. Anyway, never mind. Today I want to look at, it's not going to be just a cast of his replay. I'm going to be going through his replay, trying to learn and figure out what he's doing in Zerg versus Protoss this build. I don't have any plan in my Zerg versus Protoss right now. I just kind of copy what I do in my Zerg versus Terran build. It doesn't really work that well, especially with all of the massive all-ins that are going in right now in the Protoss world. So, I've taken some notes by looking at a bunch of other replays and other pro games that I have been studying recently for Protoss and Zerg matchup, and I'm going to watch how Serral does it. So I'm going to put it on his camera, and let's begin. Okay, so his first Overlord is going across the map. His second Overlord is going to the natural. I think either way is fine. His first Overlord is going straight across the map, and his second one's going out to check for cannon rushes. He's doing a 16 expand because the Protoss can come and block on this map. He's doing a 15 expand. Oh, and he got blocked. Okay. Jeez. Rough. Okay, so he's going to take a 17 expand. So it's not going to really change much of his build. Ah, it sucks. I wanted to learn this build. But now it's got this weird element in it. That's fine. That's fine! That's fine. Because now I have this in case it gets blocked in Protoss. I can also react to it like that. So still, he's not doing anything different. If it gets blocked, he took a 17 hatch at his third instead of the 15 hatch down at his natural, which was a good call. Doesn't slow down any of his production, it just changes where his third is going to be. So he's going to scout. What I've learned from Protoss is that their first tech building goes down in about 2 minutes 50. 2 minutes 45, and I'm going to pause it right about then to see if it's right, and then the follow-up tech, if it's going to be like a Dark Shrine or like a bunch of gates or a Robo or something like that, comes down about 350, 340 is what I have figured out. So I'm expecting him to be looking right now for his first scout. I'm expecting Serral. Now I'm just gonna let it keep going, but Serral's going to figure out what's the first unit. If it's an Adept, I'm guessing he's going to expect it to be a Stargate, because Stargate followers from the Adept is so popular, and you really have to go Adept first if you want to go Stargate, because you have to check if they're going to Bane bust you. Because if you open Stargate and you don't scout that there's a Bane bust coming, you just die because your Oracle runs out of energy. It's really hard to stop if you do Stargate openers. So he is opening Adept, so I'm interested to see if he's going to go Stargate on this. So it comes out 340. I'm just watching the production tab. 340 is what I'm assuming. Twilight. Okay, so it's a little bit different, but my first prediction was right. So right about 240 is when his Twilight lab goes down. Twilight Council goes down, and he sees that it's an Adept first. So does he make extra? He saw his 2 Adepts now. So there's 1 Adept. Lots going on. Lots going on already. So let's pause it down for a second. So right now he saw that there's 1 Adept in his base. He saw that there's a second Adept right now. So what I'm assuming, he's going to take his Overlord and move into the main, because there's basically nothing to stop him from figuring out what's going on right now, because there's just 2 Adepts that don't shoot up. 2, he just saw the second Adept come out, so I'm interested in if he's going to make more Lings, because right now he's got 6 Lings right now. Is he going to go higher because he saw the second Adept? Making more Queens. He's making 2 more Lings, so he's going up to 8. And he's going to send in his Overlord. Yep, just like I thought. Okay. And he's just building workers behind. There's 8 more lings, so he's got 16 lings coming out right now. I think that's because he wants to retake map control and push back across the map, keep it safe. Okay, so he gets 2 lings and he scouts what's going on. And now, next scout is at 340 is when, oh, he's already got the robo down.
Swarm forces under attack. Successful.
340, yeah, between 3 and 340 is his tech. So he's got 340 now. Oh, look at this, look at this. Okay, so right at 340 is when the Darkshine drops. So it is correct. 340 is when you should be coming in to see what the hell is his tech going to be, is when you need to have this scout finished. So he does have a link still in the main. He's going to see all this coming through. It looks like an Archon drop because he's got the robo with it as well. He sees everything. So let me put it back on so you can see what he's selecting. He's got a whole bunch of lings outside the front of his base right now that he's going into robo, not robo, but for Roach Warden. Okay. So now he's just running like crazy. He seems like he has some lings, so he can track the warp prism. No, Showtime doesn't need to basically walk away from the Dark Shrine because Dark Shrine can be so good later on in the game if he doesn't get spores properly on all of his later expansions and things like that. It can be a big pain in the ass later on, and also he can still do his standard Archon drop. So he's already got his layer done, 430. What's the worker count right now? 40 workers right now, so it's a little bit slow on the worker count compared to where we are. They're tied on workers, 41. Actually, have they lost any workers yet? Serral's killed 2 workers, so Showtime could have 44 workers right now if he wanted it. So right now, he understands there's a drop coming. He's stopping on about 40 workers, because he wants to have the ability to clean up this drop. So he sees it. There's the Dark Templar.
Enemy assaulting.
And there's the
drones under attack.
So yeah, he's doing a freaking great job of this. Okay, so let's take it a step back and let's see what's going on. Let's watch both of these attacks come in at the same time. So right now we've got right here. Let's put it on E so we can see everything that's going on. Right now we've got 4 Dark Templar on his main, and we've got some Adepts going to shade into his 3rd to try to kill everything. Now let's step back a little bit more and let's see when Serral can find what's going on, so you can see what's going on. So I'm just going to watch his minimap and his camera. Let's actually slow it down a little bit because he's so damn fast, I can't really keep up. Okay, so I think he understands that he's trying to track the prism. Where is the prism? He's sending out lings all over the map right now to try to catch it. Yeah, so look at his map vision right now. He's got lings everywhere on the map to be able to catch this prism coming in. There, boom. He sees it on the minimap now. He's been staring at his minimap. Now everything comes home. And now he also sees the Adepts. So he saw both. He sees both of them right now on his minimap. Now, all of his lings are selected, I'm assuming. That one's not. Let's check his. Okay, so that one's not on the control group. All of his other lings in the control group. He's got roaches on his control group 1, lings on his control group 2. 10 roaches, 15 lings. So about 10 supply each is what he's got. How many units has he lost? Units killed. He's lost about 8 zerglings. So he could have had about 20. So I'm thinking 10 and 10 is what he's got here. Now, let's see how he deals with this double drop again. So I'm going to put it back on his camera. No, I'm just not. I'm going to put it on E. I'm going to back up. So let's just look at the main base first. So main base, what he's got, he's moving his Overseer up over to this area. And he's just trying to move I think he's mineral walking his workers. And he's got his roaches up north. So roaches deal with the warp prisms, is what we're learning here. Roaches deal with the warp prism. Okay. And that's cleaned up. Now, let's back up. Now, let's watch this engagement right now. So he's first got everything going towards the north and he immediately pulls all of his lings. As soon as he sees this going down, he pulls all of his lings down to the south. Now, with his workers, he's got them all selected on the extractor. I want to see where he pulls them, actually. So he pulls them onto the extractor, and then he pushes them back out. So pulling them into the extractor means that his adepts can't micro... Okay. Let's think. Let's think of why he does this. Pulling him into the extractor means that the only place that his adepts can do damage is around this area here, this box. If his adepts, if the minerals are here, he can kind of stutter step his adepts and walk around, and it's harder for the lings to get that surround. So, he pulls all of his workers towards this bottom spot here. Let's back up. Back up. So he pulls all of his roaches up top. Sees that's coming in. Pulls all of his workers down to the bottom. His queen, he could have moved his queen as well. There, he moves his queen now. Protect his workers. Did we lose any workers? He's lost a couple workers, but... Alright, now, let's take a look at what's on the production tab during all of this. Alright, so let's watch this real time in his camera view. So real time in his camera view, he's got lings going all across the map. Right now he's making roaches up to 10. He's getting his 10 roaches out. There we go. Now I'm just watching his production tab. So he pulls everything in.
Drones.
What's going on in his production tab? Drones. Okay, the reason he's making drones is because he feels he has enough to defend what's going on right now. There's nothing else. He knows that he's got enough roaches and lings to defend this little harassment. So he knows that he's going to take economic damage from this because this was part of, by the way, brilliant play from Showtime. Let's think about everything that accumulated until this one point. Showtime purposefully pulled the drone very early to block this natural so that his most saturated bases would be his third and his main, which means that he has to spread his units farther. If he had taken this at the right time, this base would only have 4 units, 4 drones on it. Whatever, okay, fine. He lost a total of 8 workers here. Losing just 4 over here would have been no problem. And he could have had all of his units together in one spot to be stronger. So Showtime specifically wanted to spread his army from the top base, his third base here, and his natural. Serral realized this and pulled in, and so great idea and timing from Showtime, and really, really good defense from Serral. So it's a really interesting game. I'm glad I'm watching this one. All right, let's keep going. So now we're after the 5-minute mark, which is when Serral wanted to get damage done. So what we've got tech-wise from Serral is we have a layer finished. We've got Roach Warden done. We've got some lings and some roaches. On his side, we understand what's going on. There was a Dark Shrine drop into a Robo Factory, a robotics facility. Robo Factory, stupid. A robotics facility. So we know that there can be immortals after this. We could just have more Prism. It could be a big adept push because he's got this Twilight Council. But it's interesting. So one thing to know, if it is a Dark Shrine, we shouldn't be seeing like quick blink or quick glaives or quick charge after that, because using Dark Shrine is really expensive, and Dark Templar are also very, very expensive. So good to know. If I get hit with a Dark Templar drop into an Archon drop, then I know that there shouldn't be a big glaives like push after this, but I need to know what's going on with his third, so he already has a changeling out at the third himself. Okay, perfect. Okay, I understand what's going on now. Any upgrades? Just speed. Just speed. So don't get greedy with the upgrades, Danberg. This is one problem I'm having with protoss.
Forces under attack.
Because with Terran, I get really greedy on upgrades. All right, so now he's got these 2 control groups of 1 and 2, Zergs and Roaches, Zerglings and Roaches. Let's watch a little bit and let's try to figure out what's going on. So he sees everything that's going on with that. He sees a bunch of adepts. He's keeping him honest. So right now, it seems like Showtime is trying to expand.
Forces under attack.
But Serral's just going to come in and see what's going on. So roaches are always on the warp prism. Roaches take the warp prism. And he's trying to delay this third with this link run by. So this is how protoss usually works. They have an aggression, and then it comes back to expanding out the third. This is how I used to play when I played protoss. And he's killed the army, so that pulls the prism home. He's going Nidus. Really interesting. Beautiful. So Roachling Nidus. He's getting the speed upgrade for the roaches. Still making sure that he's trying to defend to delay this third with the lings. So the lings are there to keep the opponent honest, that he can't just make a bunch of units and get everything. The roaches are there to defend his base. And we've only got about 20 roaches, so 10 to 20 roaches to defend if there's a lot going on. No, he's got a shitload of roaches right now, actually.
Come to attack.
19 roaches and 3 ravagers. So now we're going into pulling his army forward. Ah, brilliant, Serral. Pulling the army forward in order to pull everything into the main and then taking the third while he's getting upgrades behind it. So it's a fake Nidus.
Swarm forces under attack.
And now he just has the Nidus.
Swarm forces.
He has the Nidus available to have that as a weapon in the back. So now he's going into upgrades here about 8 minutes. What's his worker count? He's been on a low worker count for a while. So let's back up a little bit. And let's take a look at this worker count where he's stopping, because right now he's just making units, right? We've got lings right here, but now we're starting to make units. So I'm gonna wait about 30 seconds. If he doesn't make any more drones, we're gonna see what his plan is here. Okay, so here we are. So we're at 53 workers. Let's check his gases. We've got 2 here, none here, 4 gases. So 53 workers and 4 gases is what he is working with right now. And he's on Ling Roach, Ling Roach Ravager. And he's trying to get damage done. So another problem I have is I get a lot of workers and I kind of over-drone it. So his first defense was about 40 workers. Now he's on 53 workers and he's denying the third. So he doesn't need to get up to 66, he doesn't need to get up to 75, he just needs to stand about 50. As long as he's denying his third, he has a better economy than the Protoss. So this is a really interesting way to play. I like this a lot. It's more of an aggressive style that doesn't let the Protoss do anything that they want to do. I really, really like this. I'm going to do this myself. All right, let's fast forward a little bit. We don't need to get up to 150,000 workers on this. So now let's see, after he takes this third, after he defends this third base. So we're back here now.
Hive cluster.
Why isn't this not working?
Direct assault.
Anyway. All right, so now we're making workers again.
Swarm forces.
So now we're making workers again. Up to 61.
Forces under attack.
Taking his extra gases. When he takes his 5th and 6th gases, what is he doing?
Mineral cluster.
Getting ready for upgrades, but what is his tech switch? Or is he going to tech switch?
Hive cluster.
+1 on melee.
Assault. Drones.
Alright, +1 on range.
Attack.
56 workers. He's on 56. He doesn't need to go up high. He's on 70 workers. Okay, there it is. 70 worker. Boom.
Forces under attack. Swarm forces
Hydras.
under attack.
Okay, so after 70 workers, he's on Hydras. So no Hydras before 70 workers with this playstyle.
Newly birthed queen. Creep tumor under
Now,
attack.
with this, you can skip different parts of this match, I'm assuming. If he's not doing an Archon drop, if he's just being really greedy, we don't need to do this 10 roach thing. We can just get more workers. If he's not, if you can deny his third earlier, you can skip the Nidus, or, I mean, but the Nidus seems like it's so universal right now, and he still doesn't have his third. It's 9 minutes.
Mineral cluster, hive cluster under direct assault. Swarm forces
Getting some static
under
defense.
attack.
He's going into lurkers. So we haven't made any hydras yet, and he's going into immediate lurkers with range upgrade, not the speed upgrade. This is good to know.
Mineral
So
field
I think
exhausted.
another reason is it looks like right now we're playing more defensively because we're ahead on economy, we're ahead on bases, we're getting into a spot of the game where now we are ahead. And when you're ahead, you don't need to be super aggressive. You should be more defensive with this. So in order to be defensive, this is lurker, and you don't need speed for your hydras because you're on creep. So before getting hydra speed, he's getting hydra range and trying to go into it like this. So let's see the upgrades. It's still on 1-1. It's been very aggressive this whole game. Okay, I like this. This is interesting.
Swarm forces under attack.
And just constantly knowing what the hell is going on and where your opponent's army is very important.
Swarm forces under attack.
Okay. So he's got spines to defend against run-bys because he's got to push he has to defend his fourth base now. So he's putting spines on his outer bases because they're exposed.
Swarm has evolved.
I like how I use the Arbiter.
Swarm forces under attack.
So he knows he doesn't have a fourth. Ah, he's looking for the Dark Templars. I can't believe he saw that.
Swarm forces under attack.
Just a shitload of zealots.
Swarm forces under attack.
Now he's still making hydras right now. Hasn't made any lurkers yet, but he has the ability to. Because he doesn't know if lurkers is the best choice right now. Now he's making lurkers. He's making 10 lurkers.
Successful.
And he's got the Nidus to move around. Okay, so Nidus is good,
Hive cluster under direct assault.
because then we can just be in his base, very similar to how the protoss can just be in mine. With the warp prism or something like that. I can Nidus and just be across the map here.
Mineral field depleted.
And now he's got the ability to stay out and about.
Swarm forces under attack.
Got lurkers, so he can get back home. Alright, so it looks like this here is so he can get the hell home really fast if needed, if he needs to. Because his army is not Ling Bane. It's basically Roach Hydra Lurker. But he's not lost his Roaches. So right now, he's trading out his Roach Hydra for Hydra Lurker, which is just better than Roach Hydra in like every way imaginable. So the problem with this army is it's not very mobile. So he's got these Nidus worms that he's using to be able to jump back and forth between where he is. So he's got his Nidus on 7. It's really interesting. I like that. Okay. Alright, let's keep watching. So he's got basically just waiting for him to, and he's just putting
Swarm forces under attack.
he's trying to cut off the army, trying to pull everything home.
Hive cluster under direct
So Ravagers are really good. They're better than Roaches. Because he's going into Hydra Lurker, he can trade out his Roaches for Ravagers and can deal with Storm.
forces under attack. Swarm forces
And get the sentries is what he's trying to do. So before getting Storm, getting the sentries seems like is what's really important.
mineral cluster expended.
Got Queens up here. Dark Templars.
Mutation.
Yeah, those Dark Templar are also playing a really good role in this. What's our worker count? 71 still. So 71, let's check his gases. So end game, this is where he is right now. He's getting his hive now, finally, 12 minutes. We've got 2, 4, 6, 8 gases with 71 workers. Okay. So yeah, it looks like he's making sure that before his mineral lines are saturated, he's got his gases. So 8 gas or 8 gases on 71 workers. 77 workers, sorry. He's making 6 more right now, that's why. Okay. 77 workers, boom.
Swarm forces under attack.
Lurker's a good unit. So he's got his lings.
Hive cluster under direct assault.
Okay, so this is also something I learned from Serral. He has his lurkers. Let's just look at his control on this now. This is really interesting. This is exactly how I do with lurkers too. So full army on 1, lurkers on 2, which means he doesn't need to go like 1 move, 2 move, because this all should be hitting together. If you have spellcasters and stuff like that, you want them to be in their own separate control group, so you don't just move them into, stuff that dies. But with these lurkers, you want them to be in the front, but you also want to be able to move them. So he can 1 move and then hit 2 with his lurkers, and then position his lurkers into a good spot, and then burrow them. That's what he's doing, and then he can just kind of magic box everything as he needs to. So I do this too. So if you've got lurkers, you should put them on your 1 and in their own control group. Don't do this with things like banelings. Banelings you should consider a spellcaster, but lurkers are not a spellcaster. They are just a siege type unit. So think about like maybe Marines, if you do this with your Marines and tanks. I don't know. I think you shouldn't if you're playing Terran. Don't put those on the same control groups. Anyway. So what's going on? Doing injects, getting queens at every base. Every base is now getting Spore Spine. This is something I've also noticed from a lot of really high level players.
Swarm
78
forces
workers.
Mineral field exhausted.
Let's watch as soon as his workers come out. Let's watch his next macro cycle. Is he going to go up to 10 gases, or is 8 gases the magic number?
Hive cluster under direct assault.
Getting a hive.
Swarm forces under attack. Drones. Newly birthed queen ready.
Trying to get the hive. Pulling everything home. Except for this big wad of shit up here.
Swarm forces under attack. Tumor under attack.
So these are going for... Okay, he's going up to 10 gases. So it looks like he's trying to switch into broods. He's getting Spire. He's getting static defense, but he's staying on about 75 workers. 75 is kind of the magic number. So if you're doing Ling Bane, it's 75 with 6 gas. If you're doing Broodlord, it's 75, but you want to be on 10 gas.
Swarm has evolved.
That's a lot of lurkers, Jesus.
Swarm forces under attack.
So now he's got his lurkers on separate control groups because he's fighting a couple different armies right now. He's putting some lurkers just around so he can defend if they're coming up.
Under attack. Hive cluster.
It doesn't really matter if he could see that many lurkers or not. That's just too many lurkers to attack. I think it is. So he's got Dropper Lords, gonna go for a drop.
Under attack.
And he is just toying with Showtime right now. This is ridiculous.
Swarm forces under attack.
He's completely denying a 4th base for forever. Let's take a look really quickly. Let's take a look at what Showtime's economy is right now. 7 of 4, 22 of 8, 17 of 16. No gas. He is in like full panic mode right now. Yeah, he can't. Yeah, right now Serral is doing a good job of just starving him out. So making sure that the Protoss can't take their expansions is everything that Serral is doing in this game. Alright.
Assault. Swarm forces under attack.
So he's got the Spire. He's not using it yet. He just has it. He doesn't need to use it.
Mineral
So a
field
drop
exhaust.
and a Nidus. So he can just burrow everything on if he loses his shit.
Direct assault.
He doesn't need to take this fight. Doesn't need to take this fight, and I think he's going to run away if he needs to. Yep. Pulls all of his workers. Because he is ravaging the main base right now. That's going to go into slightly a base trade-ish idea.
Swarm forces.
He's just
under
making
attack.
lurkers to defend.
Swarm forces under attack. Swarm forces under attack.
Alright, now he's pulling everything home.
Under direct assault.
He's killing the lurker den.
Swarm forces.
Pulls everything in. And there it goes. GG.
Vespine geyser depleted. Hive cluster under direct
Lost 21
assault.
workers, but we're still on 66 versus 60. He's fixing his economy before he does anything else.
Direct assault.
I love watching this control. This is really interesting. So he's back onto his control group 1 and control group 2. He put an observer on 2 and he's sending it around now.
Cluster under direct forces under attack. Hive cluster under direct assault.
No way, buddy. GG. There it is. Sweet. Okay, so we learned a lot. Let's take it back a little bit. And I just want to watch one more time. I'm going to watch it on ×2, but I just want to watch his opener and when he's getting his buildings now. Just until this 5-minute mark. So we're going to just do exactly what he's doing here when we learn this build order again. Because I'm gonna learn this build order. I like this build. I like this style of play. And keeping this worker honest is going to be very interesting. Still 30 expansion, 31 expand. Still doing that same. That's changed.
Swarm forces
Leaves one
under
queen
attack.
on each base. Still just injecting, not worried about creep spread. Looks like he's just oversaturating his first before he sends it out.
Swarm forces under attack. Ready.
He's got some lings out, so he's able to go out and check to see what's going on. That's what it is. Alright, 4 minute, 420 spores. Doesn't need it. He's got the layer already done. He's got roaches all the way already out. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. I love it. Ling's on 2, Roach is on 1. Checking, getting Warp Prism tracking. There he sees it. Up to that, up to that. And as soon as this is done, he goes back into droning, and he's going out to push the 3rd. Everything. Roaches stay home, just the Ling's got to push the 3rd. And now because he's on his, he's just now starting to make more workers. He's not over droning. He's not over droning. He's just staying on 44 workers until he sees that the opponent's trying to get his 3rd. Still, he's like, no, there's gonna be more shit coming. There's more shit. It's too dangerous. And now that he sees that there's a 3rd going down, now he's gonna start droning up to try to take advantage of this. Beautiful. And then the Nidus. So all the Nidus is going to also allow me to do, even if the Protoss scouts the Nidus, all I need to do is have it, and need to make sure that the Protoss knows I could just come into your base at any time, which keeps them home, which denies any kind of aggression on their side. I love this build. Yes, I'm going to learn this build. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this. A little bit of a longer video here. We're really getting down and looking at what kind of decisions Serral's making against Showtime, what his plan is, how Serral is defending what Showtime's trying to do against him, and looking at how things are controlled and how things are okay, yeah, we're good. How things are moving. Again, sorry about a little bit dark today. That's all I can do. It's afternoon, but thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.